We all think Disney movies are perfect, and they are, but once in a while something will slip by that throws all the consistency and world building out the window, even for just a moment. It's our love for these movies that has us breaking them down and digging deep to find the flaws that we love to hate. So, get your suspension of disbelief ready as we talk about Disney plot holes. This first one is fairly well known, but in The Little Mermaid, why doesn't Ariel just write out her situation to Eric? We know she can write based on the fact that she's signed a contract with Ursula. Okay, sure, it's possible that we only see this translated into English for narrative purposes, but then why doesn't she just doodle it on the sand or something? If you can sign, you can doodle. In Cinderella, just before the stroke of midnight, Cinderella realizes that she has to leave the ball before she transforms back and her cover is blown. As she descends the stairs, her glass slipper falls off for the prince to find. Now, if that glass slipper was such a perfect fit, then why did it fall off? It should have been exactly the shape of her foot. And one more thing, how is it that Cinderella's slipper didn't change back into an everyday item just like everything else? What I want to know is, if she would not have gotten back in the carriage, would it have stayed a carriage instead of turning back into a pumpkin? In Toy Story, all of the toys freeze and fall wherever they're standing whenever a human walks into the room. So tell me this, if Buzz believes he's a space ranger, then why does he still behave like a toy? In the movie, it seems like all the toys are self-aware that they exhibit this behavior, shown by the fact that they all freak out whenever Andy is coming. This also raises another question. If Buzz knows that he's a space ranger from Star Command, then why doesn't Woody know that he was part of Woody's roundup? Buzz knew who Zurg was without ever meeting him, and yet Woody had no idea who Jessie, Bullseye, and the Prospector were. Stop denying your past, Woody. Okay, quick question. In Snow White, why did the dwarves mine all of those rubies? It's not like they had a lavish lifestyle. Also, Snow White had no idea who they were, so I doubt they were trading them with the townspeople. Who are these guys? Alright, Disney has been known to have some pretty incompetent villains, but Hans from Frozen takes the cake. In the movie, he constructs an intricate plot to marry Anna, then assume Elsa's throne, saying,
I figured after we'd married, I'd have to stage a little accident for Elsa.
If that's the case, then why didn't he just let the guard shoot her with his crossbow? He still would have married Anna, he still could have usurped the throne, and he would have done it without having to figure out a way to get away with murder. Oh, Hans. Okay, so this next fact is, okay, look. I'm not saying Simba and Nala are brother and sister, but the only male lions that could have possibly been their dads are Mufasa and Scar, and they're brothers, so at the very least, they're definitely cousins.
We are family.
In the song I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan, Li Shang sings the line, "You're unsuited for the rage of war." Does this mean that the soldiers could have been sent home for failing to meet a basic level of physical competence? Would Mulan's father have just been sent home because he couldn't walk? Did Mulan go for nothing? I would have gone just for Li Shang though, to be honest. There's nothing like a road trip to bring a father and son closer together. So, in a Goofy movie, why is it that Max didn't just ask to go to the Powerline concert before Lake Destiny? If you look at the map, the road Goofy planned wasn't exactly efficient. If Max got to pick the spots, with his father's consent, he simply could have asked. In Beauty and the Beast, Beast is not just the prince of a castle, he's also the king of plot holes. The prelude of the movie tells the story of the prince's curse, and that he must find true love before his 21st birthday. In the song Be Our Guest, Lumia reveals that they've been rusting for 10 years. This means the enchantress punished an 11-year-old boy for being childish. Not the best reason to cause him eternal damnation. Additionally, why don't any of the villagers have a recollection of the castle? I mean, it's only been 10 years, and yet no one seems to have any recollection of the prince that rules over them. And to keep it going, after the beast is cursed, he uses his claws to rip apart an image of himself. Only, he's an adult in the image. If he's supposed to be cursed until his 21st birthday, then how does he have an image of himself in his mid-20s? Alright, we've been pretty hard on this movie, but it's worth pointing out that the live-action Beauty and the Beast actually fixes many of the plot holes from this movie. But, on its own, this movie is Swiss cheese. Cause it's full of holes. Don't you just love it when a sequel messes up the continuity of a series that was never intended to have a sequel in the first place? Good, because in Monsters, Inc., in an exchange between Mike and Sully, Mike says,
"You've been jealous of my good looks since the 4th grade, pal."
Which completely undermines the plot of the movie's prequel, Monsters University, which tells the story of how Mike and Sully met in college. How about Wreck-It Ralph? King Candy claims that he's gone into the code and wiped everyone's memories. Well, if that's the case, then why do the citizens still know what going turbo is?
Ralph's gone turbo?
How could they remember that that even happened? It definitely happened before they got their memories wiped because King Candy is Turbo. Spoiler alert. Alright, here's another one for you. In the movie WALL-E, if Eve is programmed to seek out life and contain it, then why is she designed to immediately shoot anything that moves, vaporizing it from existence? Wouldn't the only things that could move be life? Yes, I'm aware that WALL-E moves and he's not alive, but technically he shouldn't even exist anymore. He should have broken down a long time ago. And finally, last but not least, is my favorite semi-plot hole. In the movie Aladdin, Aladdin himself surprises the genie by not wishing to be made into a prince again, and instead he wishes the genie free. Thankfully, the Sultan changes the laws around him, but that could have been avoided if he just would have let Jasmine make a few wishes before completing his last wish. I mean, they could have at least wished for poverty to be eliminated in Agrabah. Clearly it's running rampant in the streets, literally. Look at Aladdin, he has a whole song about it. Anyways, that's enough complaining. Thank you guys so much for watching my top Disney plot holes. Now remember, all of these were made in good fun, and the only reason we're aware of them is because we pay way too much attention to these movies in the first place. But now I'll ask you, was there a plot hole that I missed? Do you have a personal favorite, lapse in lore perhaps? Let us know in the comments below. I mean, after all, there's nothing I love more than some good old-fashioned headcanon. I'm Leo Camacho, and thanks for watching everyone. Bye!